Hi guys, Crystal Moon here. Happy Wednesday. I wanted to jump on today because I want to talk about something that I find very important when it comes to the craft, and something that I think a lot of people overlook or maybe don't give much mind to it, and that is really our true power behind our magic. There are a lot of things in the world that you can use to amplify your magic, but everything comes down to intent. Your intent is the power behind your magic. And there are a few different ways that we can project our intent. One of the most easiest ways, because a lot of us are not in a place where we can maybe make it a full-on ritual when it comes to doing our magic. So one of the great ways to push our intentions out there is through thought. And thought goes a long ways. There is nothing else you need, just the thought behind the goal, the thought behind the outcome. So when you want to manifest that new job and you want to put that intention out there, it's going to start with the thoughts in your head. Now, as I have said, a lot of us don't have areas where we can go and do this full-blown, manifestation spell or attraction spell. So it really just starts with your mindset, your actual intention through your mind. Now, one of the other favorite ways that I like to use, it's probably my favorite, is verbal intention. So by that verbal intention, I mean by speaking it. To me, I believe our magic takes a presence when we actually speak the words. So it's always good to start your spell work, your rituals, in your mind, but at some point it really just locks in those intentions, I believe, if you can put forth the words, the verbal words to it. So speak the words out loud, because then they become something other than just thought. So to me, that projects your intent. It projects your magic. It doesn't just stay in your mind anymore. You've now spoken the words and you've now given it, verbal form. So this is another really, really strong way, I think, that it enhances your magical intentions. So the third way that I want to talk about is written intentions. And these come in the form of your notes when you're doing your spell work, when you're doing your spell casting, when you're doing manifestations, attractions. All three of these really should be a staple in any of your magic work. So start with that thought, and before you even sit down to work with the spell, with your manifestation, have the thought in your mind. Second, verbalize it. It doesn't matter if it's 2 or 3 words, if you're just saying one sentence to put it into motion. That is the second part that sets your intentions. And the third part is writing it. Write it on a piece of paper, write it on a bay leaf, write it on a basil leaf, write it on parchment paper. Sign it in the air if you don't want to, write something down. If you don't want, if you don't have an area to burn it, I would say at least do it in the air. But ultimately, you should be able to manifest all three ways, putting the intent behind all three things, mentally, verbally, and physically, by writing it down. Finalize that spell and set those intentions, because now you've given it words. Now you've given it a physical form. It has become something already. It has become from thought to words to text to actual writing. So in those steps itself, you have created 3 different ways of putting the intentions behind it. That in itself is the number one thing that I think every witch at any level needs to remind themselves of. Your intent is your magic. Now, there are plenty of tools that you can use to enhance that magic. That's why these elaborate spells and rituals are they're fun, because you can use so many different things, but only if you have the time. And don't think that you need all of this in order to have your spell come to. There is, candle magic is very simple. You light a candle, you put all 3 of those intentions, and you've, attached it to something and put it out there. You can use your crystals to amplify anything, any spell work, any manifestations, any intentions that you want to put out there. Your spells are, your words are magic, so enhance them with your crystals. If you don't have anything, quartz works for everything. It's just kind of a go-to when you're not sure what crystal to use. Quartz is an amplifier of anything, so start easy, start basic, start with a quartz crystal. There's other ways. There is aloe, there are herbs, there are many, many different forms that you can use to enhance your magic. And all it's doing is amplifying it. It's putting a little more extra step. And I think the reason it works when that happens is because you are taking that much time in performing this and in setting all of these intentions. So between, mentally, verbally, written, any tools that you want to use in your spells, the time it takes to really sit and concentrate. And you should be willingly concentrating. It's nice to be able to get away for a while and to create your magic by yourself without interruption. And I know that's very difficult. So I think this is why a lot of people think it's really hard to incorporate magic in your everyday life. And it absolutely is not meant to be that hard. If you cannot get away and you cannot do, what you believe is your full magic, then you need to start back with the basics, and you need to get your intentions set right. You need to get your power behind your mindset again and behind your words. And then when you can start picking up on the synchronicities and the things that click when you start basic again, work beyond that. And then when you have time, add some more tools into it. It is as simple as, let's take a crystal. Just because every woman I know that's into crystals has 1, 2, 5, or 10 stuck in their bra, right? In their pocket, in their purse, wherever. So we carry these things like, worse than, I don't know. It's worse than an addiction, or it's a form of an addiction in itself. Only because they have power. They are magic. So take that thing in your hand. Here's really, really simple. One tool. Think about it. Say it out loud while you are holding it. You don't even need to write it down, because the crystal has heard. The crystal knows your intentions, and it has now been charged with that intent. So just as easy now, carry this thing with you. Every time you take it out of your bra, every time you take it out of your pocket, every time you take it out of your purse, remind yourself of the intention that you had behind this when you started this. That right there, my friends, is absolutely magic at its 100% raw and basic. And this is where you need to be reminded where to start from. It all starts in us. Our tools and everything else that we choose to bring into it just enhance it. But you should be able to create a lot of things with just your words and just your mind. So this is my witchy tip for this week, is work on your intentions and really work on mental and verbal. If you cannot write it down, I know it makes it a lot harder and it feels like it's more spell work when you can. So just work on mental and verbal. Maybe charm yourself something to carry with you. It doesn't take anything but that to do it. So I hope you all have a fabulous Witchy Wednesday, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.